All right. Well, I'm going to invite one more of my friends to come forward. Her name is Chris. Why don't you just welcome Chris here to the platform? All right. You ready for this? Sure. All right. All right. Why don't you just introduce yourself same way Damon did? Just a little bit about you, where you're from, how long you've been here.
My name is Chris Duncan, and I've been with the program 5 months now. From Livonia originally.
Okay.
So,
Just tell us a bit about yourself, your background. What were you doing for, I don't know, the last couple of years?
Fighting an addiction that I could not break. It was a spiritual stronghold over my life. I believe that, and
What was it?
it was just cocaine.
Okay.
And I've been battling that for exactly 40 years, since 1983. I don't have a year clean from drugs yet. I was battling, got that right. I was living in my car right before I called Life Challenge, and Satan convinced me that I should kill myself. I really felt that I should just end it. So I called Life Challenge, and I spoke with Ryan, and he prayed with me, and I must have called him 50 times with different questions, and he just answered every time I called. And he set up my interview, and I got to come in, but it was a battle because being biracial was really hard, and being the only biracial growing up, it was just so difficult to be in Livonia and not seeing another one like me and being confused and not knowing my identity truly in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So,
And so this has been a 40-year battle for you. What has that been like along the way? Have there been moments of sobriety, maybe not a year long? Have there been other programs that you've gone to? I mean, what has that journey looked like?
yes, I've been through 3 different programs. The longest I've ever been sober was 4 months. I had a 15-year run where it was every 3 to 4 months I would go out and use, and that went on for 15 years. I was married at that time, having children, and working, so that's when I developed that pattern. But after my divorce, I just went straight to overload, and
And help these people understand what that's like being in a 40-year kind of rut. If you can have words to describe what it feels like, what the environment is, what is it like mentally?
it was just a circle that I was just looking, how do I get out of it? Just trying to find a way out. Different kinds of ways, and it just wasn't working. So I knew it was a spiritual thing. I knew that over my life. So I just had prayer and just asked God. I must have said it every day of my life for a year and a half. Lord, help me. I need help. Help me, Lord. Even as I was getting high, constantly. And then finally, I got the help I needed.
And for some of you who are maybe sitting here this morning, maybe your first response or your first reaction is, well, Chris, just stop. Just stop using. Just don't do it if you want. Help them understand what that is like, because I don't think for some of us we fully understand that when you get into these deep addictive patterns, there's a point at which like your chooser, we kind of call that, is like broken. You have no way of having like the parameters or the bumpers on a bowling alley. There's just no way for you to make that sort of conscious decision, if you can kind of describe that in your own words.
You just said it so perfectly right then, like It's true. It's just like that. I just couldn't break it. I couldn't. You try so many different ways and just.
You wanted to be clean for the last 40 years.
Yes, and I tried, like I said, different programs, but they just weren't doing it. I needed prayer. It's about the Lord. It's about God. It's not about this earthly, worldly way of life. And that's what I was in, one step into, the Word, one step into the world. And it's like, please, I need to make up my mind. And I tried to make up my mind, but I needed help being pulled out of it. It was a spiritual stronghold in my life.
And we kind of talk about that here at Life Challenge, where we understand that addiction is complicated, like Chris is saying. It's really messy. There's good days, but there's a lot of bad days. And we've come to understand that addiction is really complicated, right? It's partially, your genetics. It has something to do with your mental. It has something to do with where you grew up or how you grew up or, just all these different things, your genetics all of that. But at the end of the day, we realize and we understand that there is a spiritual component that has to be addressed. And the good news is that it has been addressed through Jesus Christ. And we here at Life Challenge are just trying to introduce people to the new hello, right? To the new hope, to the new horizon that God has in store for them. And so, first of all, are there those who are willing? I know you guys are praying for the youth today. Are there those who are willing to just raise your hand and say, today I'm going to be praying for Chris. We're going to be praying for this healing, this breakthrough to happen in your life. And we are going to be praying, and we have prayed. We continue to do that. Chris, just what is it that gives you hope? Because you've been in this a long, long time, and you've mentioned some things about identity and that confusion that you have been in. But what is it that is keeping you here, and what is it that you're finding hope in today?
I feel that I'm chosen. I feel that he chose me. I do. I feel just so honored to be one of his children. And I just want to be that good and faithful servant, and that's what I strive for. My relationship with Jesus.
That's awesome.
That's right.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And you know, what's awesome is there are so many other stories that you get to see here represented today, and those in the seats right now. So after service, if you have a moment that you would like to come and pray for one of these individuals, that we're all wearing these black polos, or you want to share just some encouragement, we would love for you to do that, get your hands dirty, get into this, and be praying for these individuals. So without further ado, I'm going to have our choir just continue to communicate this message of hope, help, and healing through this next song. Thank you.